Okay, today we're going to be ranking the Friday the 13th franchise. I'm going to try to do this as quickly as possible, have it be painless and hopefully enjoyable. So let's just get on with it. I'm done. Okay, so we got Part 7, The New Blood versus the remake. We're picking Part 7, The New Blood, because of telekinetic Carrie versus zombie Jason, and then the part at the end where Kane Hodder gets his mask ripped off, and it's the best freaking Jason makeup you've ever seen. It's an amazing battle, and I'm picking that one. This is already going too long. Jason Goes to Hell, The Final Friday versus Crystal Lake Memories, The Complete History of Friday the 13th. 2013 is when it came out. I didn't have to tell you all that. This is already a terrible mistake. Okay, Crystal Lake Memories is the winner. Why? Because it's one of the greatest documentaries of all time. I'm sorry. Man, this freaking internet is slow. I guess I'm going to have to edit this down after all, huh? Saving your choice, okay. Freddy versus Jason versus Friday the 13th, The Final Chapter. Oh, this is a tough one. Oh, man. This is really tough. You know what? Probably going to get a lot of hate for this, but I'm going to pick Freddy versus Jason. Alrighty, this is where you click off the video. Friday the 13th, the original, 1980, versus Crystal Lake Memories, The Complete History of Friday the 13th, 2013. Why did I read the entire title again? That one, of course, best documentary of all time. One of them, top 3. Better than most films. Jason Goes to Hell, The Final Friday versus His Name Was Jason. Now I'm going to go Jason Goes to Hell on this one. Okay, saving your choice. Oh my, this is fun. Look at this. Oh man, the sun's going down on me. Oh hey, Crystal Lake Memories. Again, not going to read the whole title this time. Already going too long. His Name Was Jason. Wow, this is documentary versus documentary. This is exciting stuff. Ooh, what do? Well, you pick the best documentary of all time. Top 3, at least it's in there somewhere. That's what you do, because His Name is Jason. We knew His Name was Jason. That's a silly name for a documentary. Let's get real. Friday the 13th Part 2. This is the sequel to the original Friday the 13th versus Freddy versus Jason. Huh, this is tough. You know, I'm going to pick Friday the 13th Part 2 because of the final girl. It's one of the best final girls in the franchise. Friday the 13th Part 3 versus Jason Goes to Hell. You got Part 3. It's the 3D one. He gets his mask in that one. The characters are better. Part 3 versus Part 7. Also Part 3. Part 3 is an excellent film. So sorry, Part 7. Jason Goes to Hell versus the original Friday the 13th. Ooh, this is a tough one. Friday the 13th, the original. Why? Kevin Bacon, great Tom Savini effects. Picking that one. His Name Was Jason. Yes, it was. We already went over that. Jason Lives. This is the 6th one. And that is the funny one, and that is getting picked. Friday the 13th Part 2 versus Jason Lives. We're also going to pick Jason Lives on that one. It's a very comical film. Friday the 13th Remake versus A New Beginning. The one without Jason. The one with Roy. The one that everybody either loves or hates and hates to love. We're going to pick Part 5. Okay, Friday the 13th Remake against Part 3. Part 3 all the way. Are you kidding me? Is this a joke? Part 7, The New Blood versus Freddy versus Jason. Again, I've already mentioned the makeup and the Carrie versus zombie Jason thing. It's unbeatable, well, by most things. Friday the 13th, the original, versus Freddy versus Jason. You know what, for this one, I'm a sucker for like that late 90s, early 2000s kind of feel. Man, just the melding of the dream stuff, and, you know, I enjoy Ronnie Yu as a director, so we're going with Freddy versus Jason. The remake, Friday the 13th versus Jason Lives. Jason Lives all the way. Tom McLaughlin, let's do this. Come on. Friday the 13th Part 2 versus His Name Was Jason Part 2. Get a life here, man. Come on, let's get real. Can we get real for once in our lives? Part 7, The New Blood versus the original. I'm going to go 7. That freaking makeup, man. Crystal Lake Memories versus Part 5, The Roy Story. We're going Crystal Lake Memories, one of the greatest documentaries of all time. Now we got Part 7, A New Blood versus the remake. We're going Part 7 because of that makeup. I think I've done this 3 times already. Friday the 13th, this is the original versus Freddy versus Jason. Ah, we're going here. We're going here. Blah, 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 blah. We're going to original. Original all the way. Come on, let's get real. Jason Lives versus A New Beginning. Ooh, we got 6 versus 5. We got Funny Jason versus Roy Jason. We're going funny. We're going funny here, Bibe. Who's Bibe? I don't know. Friday the 13th Part 3 versus Jason Goes to Hell. We're going 3. Friday the 13th Remake versus Jason Goes to Hell. The remake can go to hell, even though, is it a remake? Yeah, it is a remake. His Name Was Jason versus Jason Lives. Jason Lives. Okay. Couple more, and then I think we're gonna have a tally on our hands. I'm really excited about this. Not really, but I'm really excited. Let's say I'm excited. That's the story we're going with, people. Part 6 versus the original Part 6. Part 6, come on, all the way. Part 6. Let's get some real contenders going here. Real contenders. Let's do it. Part 7, The New Blood versus Part 2, The Part 2. We're going to pick... Man, everyone loves this. Everyone loves Part 2. Man, Sackhead Jason versus that makeup. I'm going with that makeup all the way. This was the first Jason movie I ever saw, by the way, in case that's why I'm a little bit biased. Part 7 versus Freddy versus Jason, we're going makeup. Part 3 versus Part 5, we're going Part 3. Part 2 versus the original. Oh, Man 2. Crystal Lake Memories versus 4, we're going the Doc. The Doc Man cometh. Part 7 versus the original, we're going 7 with the makeup. Part 3 versus that shittier documentary, we're going Part 3. Part 3 versus the better documentary, we're going the better documentary. This movie is like 17 hours long. It can't compete with anything really. It's the Rocky of the bunch. Let's get real here. Jason lives. Does he now? Crystal Lake Memories though lives better, lives longer, lives prosperer. 3 versus Freddy versus Jason, we're going 3. Jason Goes to Hell versus the original. I'm starting to feel kooky. I'm starting to lose my mind a bit. This is already going way too long. I'm kind of, my brain is frying like a freaking egg, and so I want to pick Jason Goes to Hell because it's like it's warm. Like my brain is feeling very warm, about to pass out here. So it's calling me to the dark side there. But this is the OG, right? This is the Sean S. Cunningham. This is the Kevin Bacon. This is the guy in the feather hat. No. You're not pulling one on that. They killed a snake in this movie. Fuck you. Jason Goes to Hell, doesn't he? Part 2 versus the remake. We're going Part 2. His Name versus Jason versus... His Name versus Jason? Yeah, he's versing himself. Part 5, though, is what we're going with. His Name and Part 3. Part 3 is better than His Name, I would say. This is my show, after all. Jason Goes to Hell. And Part 2 is for you. So why not for me? Wow, look at this. The original versus the remake. The OG versus the can't see. Because I'm not watching it right now. We're going with the original. We're going Doc. Jason Lives, final chapter. I like to live more than finaling. Part 3 is better than Jason Goes to Hell. That's laughable. Come on. Part 2 versus Jason Goes to Hell. Come on, I'm a big fan of The Hidden. What can I say? I'm picking Jason Goes to Hell. I think I'm botching all this now. Remake versus 3. 3. I think this is it. This has got to be it. Come on, guys. Give it to me here. Give it to me. This is already going 17 hours. I got places to be. Flick chart. Flick chart. Come on, man. This is ridiculous. 2. We're going 2. All for you. Crystal Lake over 5. 7 over his. Come on now. We can do this. I believe in you, Flick Chart. And nobody else does, but I do. I'm sticking with you. Jason Lives. Part 3 is better than Jason Lives. Come on now. Okay, I think we're ready. I think we're ready to look at the results. Okay, my friends, the final results are in, and we got, at number 15, Jason Takes Manhattan. At number 14, we got Jason X. At number, already, this is a flawed list. I don't even agree with the end half. Flick chart is not the greatest with this, especially if you want to do something really quick. But I tell you, I feel pretty confident about my top maybe 6 or 7. We'll see. So we got 15, 14, 13 is the remake. 12 is His Name was Jason. That should be way lower. The remake would be lower. Jason X would be higher, just to let you know right now. A New Beginning is next. At 11, we got A New Beginning. That's part 5. And then at the next one up is The Final Chapter, part 4. Then we got Freddy versus Jason. Then we got Friday the 13th, the original. Then we got part 2 above the original, which I think a lot of people would probably agree with. Now, the top 5. Number 5, we got Jason Goes to Hell, The Final Friday. Number 4, we got Friday the 13th, Part 7, The New Blood, which, as I said before, was one of the first ones I ever seen, so I got a soft spot for it. Then we got number 6 at 3, which is a funny, a good time, a departure for the series. Finally, a departure for the series. Actually, 5 was a departure for the series too, so you could also say that. So 5 and 6 kind of have that refreshing thing going on. Then we at number 2, which I believe is the best of the actual Friday the 13th films, is part 3. I think it's like the closest thing to a perfect Friday the 13th movie that you can get. It's just my opinion. Everybody has their own answer. A lot of people would pick 4. A lot of people would pick 2. I happen to pick 3. I'm a 3 guy. I like Shelley and the gang. I think it's funny. I think it feels like a real movie. Some of them don't necessarily feel that way. And then number 1, one of the longest, most comprehensive, greatest documentaries of all time on cinema. A movie that I'm confident that you could watch and enjoy, and not even necessarily be the biggest Friday the 13th fan. That's saying a lot. Crystal Lake Memories: The Complete History of Friday the 13th. Thank you so much for watching this. I'm glad we settled this, even though it's the results are a bit flawed. I blame Flickchart for that. You took your sweet time saving those results, didn't you? And then you didn't give me the answers I was looking for. But that's okay. Like I said, I think a solid 6 or 7, top 5, solid top 5, I would say. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good one.